Okay, I hope this doesn't freeze up. This is the Dark Warrior. I'm about to discuss some of the issues of white nationalism. I'm speaking a little differently here, maybe because I just want to speak this way. I don't really think it's relevant how I speak, but I'm trying to imitate Mr. Kobadegeth, to be very honest with you. White nationalists continue to bring up these issues that they have, but part of the problem is they seem like they want to try to convince black people of this. I mean, they need to. I mean, I wasn't there, but one white nationalist wanted to know why there were no black people debating them when all these other white people were debating them, and that's how they got Jack Doodle. It seems like white nationalists want to debate with black people. They want to prove that they're better than black people by saying, yeah, you're stupid, you're a nigger, you're this, you're that. They want to do this on YouTube. And I find it very pointless because, okay, well, you convince black people, if you convince black people that they're inferior, or you don't convince black people that they're inferior, they're not ever going to admit that they're inferior, so what's the point? It seems like white nationalists think they're accomplishing something so great by debating and insulting 5% of YouTubers, probably like 5%. And I don't get it. What they should be focused on is trying to persuade the white majority of their belief system. They should be trying to persuade the white majority that their image has been distorted by Jews and present evidence that it is true, which they don't have this evidence. But if I'm a white nationalist and I believe in this stuff, that's what I would do. So since many white nationalists, or very few white nationalists, ever talk about solutions to the perceived problems they have with black folks, I'm going to do it for them. So let's go to the first one. White race extinction. Many white nationalists believe that the white race will be extinct in the next generation. Well, the solution is to sterilize black men. It is to outlaw interracial marriage. And it is to conduct the same system of apartheid that was in South Africa. That's what you need to talk about. Trying to convince black people of this, you're crazy. I mean, you brought their ass over here and you expect in a Western society that they're going to think they're inferior to you or they're going to expect less money than you? You're out of your mind. Doesn't matter if you think you're right about these theories or blacks have the wrong opinion. It doesn't matter. That's just your theory. The social circumstances are black people are not changing their mind. So going to Black Egypt videos talking about the Egyptians are white, or constantly going on other black nationalist videos to become trolls is useless. Because I don't see that on Stormfront and all these other racist, well, I would say anti-black, in my personal opinion, forums. I don't see that many anti-racist trolls in proportion to racist trolls that are on pro-black or black nationalists or even extreme Afrocentrist videos. Don't see it. So let's go on. Blacks have another belief is that white nationalists, many white nationalists, not all, I know Nordic Jawa is not one of them. There was another guy that didn't really preach this, but many white nationalists believe that blacks have a lower IQ than whites, and that's because they are because blacks have a genetic lower capacity to learn, and that is based on the IQ. Well, if you believe this, instead of trying to convince Jack Doodle or trying to convince somebody that adamantly, a black person who adamantly is not going to believe you, Why don't you try to convince your white majority to resegregate the schools? So resegregate the schools, give black schools less money, and give white schools more money. And as a matter of fact, if the Asian population explodes, give Asians the most money. There you have it. But you're not going to convince the black community of your belief system. Don't even try to present the views to the black community. It's not going to work. I mean, it's the same way. It's going to be the same way when they present or we present our views to your neo-Nazi community. You're not going to believe it. So stop trying. I'm talking about both sides. Stop trying. So the third concern of white nationalists, many white nationalists and neo-Nazis, is the black on white crime, which is disproportionately higher than the white on black crime. Well, the solution is it's already happening right now. Blacks receive the death penalty for raping a white woman. Well, that one I'm not sure about. But killing any white person, blacks are more likely to get the death penalty as opposed to killing a black person. So your solution is already in place. If you don't believe your solution is in place, then okay, we already know that you think the Jews are out there to try to oppress you. Try to convince the white majority that it is really a lie and that we really need to make sure in law that blacks receive a heavier penalty for perpetrating crimes against those of the white race. There you have it. So continue to tell us, why not black? You're not going to convince a black person in the West that you're superior. And even if you did convince them, or you gave them some type of suspicion that they were not as intellectually capable within Western standards, they're not going to admit it. And what's the point? They're not in power. I know that you guys think the Jews dominate the media, but the government's run mostly by whites. The military is run mostly by whites. Your state legislators run mostly by whites. In areas where whites are majority and can influence the election, those are represented by whites. So your solution needs to be, you need to bring these beliefs to white America. Not come on Jerry Springer, where there's mostly half of them are black. Not come on Queen Latifah. You need to convince white America of your dissatisfaction of this country and tell them your version of the truth, not black America. So that's all I have to say. I hope you have a nice day.